So this is a typical 2 by 2 grid we follow in our business to understand the market and the product. Okay. So finally, we have understood it's not the price, it is not the size of the box, it is not the artwork, it's not the theme, nothing. It all comes down to two things. Okay. So when it comes to pricing the product, right, who is it that we are targeting? Right. If you look at this, we have made a simple grid, which is how much profit margin you want versus how many customers you want. Simple as that. Okay. How much profit margin? So you can price your product like crazy versus how many customers you want to acquire with this product. Do you want 1,000 customers? Do you want 5,000 customers? What is it that you want? Okay. So that is one thing. The other strategy that we look at is the product, what do you say? The value proposition, right? So over here, when you look at one of the core things of your value proposition is the mechanic that you are using in the game. Are you using a roll a dice and move kind of a mechanism, or are you designing a brilliant mechanism which you yourself have come together and made a combination of it which is so gorgeous and beautiful and balanced, and that makes it a complex game, right? You know that it has everything, all the DNA of a beautiful game, right? Now if you look at this, the hobby market and the world market for board games, right? They are willing to pay any amount of money. They will don't even care about the MRP of the game. That's the beauty about it. They all fall in this category, the top right, which is my favorite category. Okay. They are willing to pay even 5,000 rupees for your game if the game mechanics and the game everything, the value proposition is beautifully packaged. So this is where we realize an amazing thing in our business. Last year same month we had the same amount of sales as this year. Okay, like for example, if you compared April of last year to this year, last April we made the same amount of money on Amazon. This April also we made the same amount of money, but the number of units we sold was half this year, and we still made the same amount of money. That was a huge change in our product strategy, which is target the right group of people. Even like this is a funda which Christina also will tell you, who has made Bharata. This was the funda she told me, where if you need to reach 1 crore, are you going to sell 10,000 copies of a 100 rupee product? That means you need to find 10,000 customers for your product. Or is it easier to sell a 1,000 rupee game to 1,000 customers? Is it easier to get 1,000 customers or 10,000 customers? Right? It's easier for me to find 1,000 customers. And to these guys, if I can sell a 1,000 rupee game, then I can reach 1 crore like this. Right? I think the numbers are a little short by 1 0, but you get the idea, right? So that is where we shifted. We started making good games, good mechanics, good components, didn't have to sacrifice too much, priced it at 3,000, 2,000, 2,500, 4,000 rupees. And we had to just sell it to 60, 70 customers. Versus 200 customers where we had to sell to reach the same amount of revenue. So this is something you have to keep at the back of your mind and start designing a game to fit that. Okay. So hobby market and the world market are a niche market. Okay. They expect you to have a good game. You cannot go to this particular market. If you're targeting this particular market, you cannot have a simple lame game just to cash in on the game. Tell me, Karan.
So, do you think like if in your brand portfolio you have a product for the hobby market and you have a product for the Indian mass market, does it affect your brand in any way? The uh, like
So this is a very, very, very good question. Who are you right now in the business? Are you a designer or are you a publisher? If it's a publisher, then you're in the business. If you're in a business, then you're catering to all markets to balance your business out. Some product or somewhere will keep sending you money.
Exactly.
You
That's the
know,
best way to think, and a more like comfortable way to think.
exactly. So this took us time, right? I mean, we also did a lot of experiments, and then, like for example, when Indus ran out of stock, we had Chaigaram or some other game actually pick up the sales for us, and we had Bengaluru. So Bengaluru, Nama Bengaluru is like a pocket-sized game, which is just 400, 500 rupees after discount and everything, and it's pocket-friendly and it's perfect. And we did not sacrifice on the game mechanics in that game because we wanted people to realize what is the kind of thought process that goes into designing a game. You know, we didn't want to make a lame game. So when people bought Bengaluru, it was a perfect customer acquisition thing. That is what I'm looking at. So we actually made a big game in a small box and priced it low also. The strategy for that was not to make money, is to keep acquiring new customers. Keep acquiring customers, whether we have other products in stock or not, Namma Bengaluru will keep selling consistently in all our sales channels.
So, as per you, Namma Bangalore comes into the lower right category.
Correct. The
Lower right,
customer
right?
acquisition part.
So,
So
Still not mass market.
it's
do you have
it's
any
not mass
product
market.
in the lower left category? Do you think you have any product in lower left category?
We are working on that. So Yuddhabhumi and Vallamkali are the two games that which we are bringing out in the next couple of months, this month rather, which will fit into the Indian mass market. The rules of the game is very simple. You can just tell them it's like chess. Have you seen Harry Potter chess? They'll be, oh yeah, the doll action, and it's just like that. It's easy to tell them. You know, Yuddhabhumi is like that. So Vallamkali is also same. It's a boat race of Kerala, but a slight introduction to a new mechanic, which is bidding, then and deck building. So they understand the whole concept, right?
So it's one thing I'm noticing. It's very interesting that the grid is divided on the basis of mechanics, not on the basis of theme or not on the basis of art and any other thing. So that's very interesting, like a new thing for me.
That is how the market is.
No matter how much you put money into art or
So if you have simple mechanics, the market is huge. That's why I put one big circle. For simple mechanics, there's a huge market. Okay. And
But when you're promoting your game, the mechanics are not. People are not able to know the mechanics just by
they'll
seeing
know.
the box.
They'll immediately know. Like when you look at Monopoly, they know that there is a dice movement and buying assets.
how to
Right.
play. You will
So
have
that
to
is
have.
understood. So that much you have to promote in your game. That is part of all the stuff which we shared, right? That is what you're selling to the end customer. They should know what mechanics are there. So they'll start preparing themselves. How do I master this game? You know, they'll start analyzing then itself. So that is one of the pulls for your game. So this is what I wanted to share. Hobby market, if you want to enter, your game should have the right mechanics. All right. And if you want to enter into the world market, they will not even look at a game which is simple. If you made an alternative for Uno or whatever, they won't even look at it because they can easily rip it off. Okay. Somebody or this somewhere in the world will make an exact copy of your mechanism, or it might have already existed and you don't know about it.
won't know.
So that always happens all the time. Somebody would have designed that game, similar game. Like for example, when we came out with Karigar-e-Taj, just 1 month before that was a game called Red Cathedral, which is a Russian church cathedral building game. And it had a similar concept where they're building tiles of the cathedral and all that. And even West architects of the West Kingdom had that funda. So we were like, damn, it always happens. When we launched Indus, cartographers had come out. And it had a similar mechanism of drawing polyamino tiles on sheets of paper. We're like, damn, we're like, why is this happening? You know? And it happens all the time, but it's very important to draw a moat. For us, the moat is one, the theme, which is Indian. Second is the artwork which goes with the thing. Nobody can rip off your game if they don't have the artwork. So the artwork and the theme is very deeply it's what do you say? stitched together in such a way that if you remove one of them, the game won't function.
If I'm reading this grid correctly, do you mean that in the lower two categories of this grid, there is no profit margin?
Well, it is there in large numbers.
So you will get money only with volumes. It's the funda of Uno versus, like for example, Uno is 95 rupees, which you can get an Uno, original Uno for 95 bucks. Okay. What money is Mattel making from that? Nothing. It costs them around 70 bucks to make it.
But they sell in lakhs.
Right? It's all customer acquisition, but it's sold like crazy. Now, if Mattel comes up with Jenga or Sequence or something like that, there are already customers who want to buy that. So your strategy is customer acquisition. So whatever the most important thing from this grid is, you need to have a product for all of this. You need a product for customer acquisition. You need a product to build your credibility in the market with a good game. So that falls under the hobby market thing. And you also need to have a game which is a holy grail. Right? Our holy grail right now is a game which has decent profit margin and just about mechanics in the game. Not too many, not too few, not too lame, just enough. And you should have a good profit margin. And we are actually targeting that holy grail right now. We are trying to move towards that. That market is huge. So this market caters to the world market. The hobby market has the right mechanics. People are willing to pay and you're making money. So that is the perfect product in your portfolio. And you have more than one, you're going to be rich.
You should never run out of stock.
Yeah, don't ever run out of stock. That is another disaster.